more than 500,000 work permits were issued to Nepalese seeking employment outside the country, up from 200,000 job seekers who applied for the papers to work in 2008. 95% of those who leave are men, most of them finding labour work in Malaysia and Gulf countries, salaries ranging from almost $200 to $900 a month. Last year, though, workers sent home $6 billion, which adds up to, as Sabina was saying, 30% of Nepal's earnings. We've got Richard Howard with us, Director of the ILO, the International Labour Organization Country Office for Nepal, via Skype from Kathmandu. Nice to have you with us. Does the government need to be more transparent here? The end of Sabina's report was talking about some accusations of actually colluding with some of the middlemen, but at the very least, are we not seeing the full picture from the Nepalese government?
I think one of the major challenges which we face here in Nepal is the very high cost of migration for the migrant worker themselves. It is not uncommon here for migrant workers to pay as much as $1,800 a year to recruitment agencies before they migrate. This puts them in a position of severe vulnerability because if they end up in debt because of these high fees, they may end up in a situation where they're not able to change their jobs in the receiving country or to leave a workplace where it is highly exploitative. Just to give a sense of scale on this, $1,800 in Nepal is 20 times the minimum wage. So for someone to pay that amount of money before they migrate, they would often have to borrow a significant amount of money from money lenders or from the community members.
What about that money, though? I believe it was a deposit of, and it doesn't sound like much, $15, but to this Foreign Employment Welfare Fund. What's happening with that money?
The money is being used to support migrant workers, for example, if they end up in a situation where they're not paid in a receiving country, or if there's an accident, or if they have to repatriate a body after a death. That money is often used in those cases. The problem is accessing the Foreign Employment Fund requires coming to Kathmandu to do that. And since most migrant workers are from rural areas, it's very difficult and expensive for them to do that. So access to the fund is still limited.
Is there any prospect of things improving at home in Nepal so that, 1,000 men a day wouldn't have to go overseas to look for work, or is this just how it is?
Well, on the one hand, I think Nepal realizes that it needs to improve its regulatory framework for migration, and a revision is undergoing now. I think the second point, and what we see happening in Nepal now, is we enter a more stable democracy where we expect to have less political instability, less changeover of government, that the number one priority in Nepal now is job creation at home. So we are in a intend to migrate for work, we'll have more choices before they leave.
Richard Howard from the ILO in Nepal, very interesting talking to you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Now, I could say that here's Sana to talk about sport, but frankly, you're just talking about the